Rockies on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Welcome to Rogers Center. This is the fourth and final game of this four-game series against the Cleveland Indians. The Blue Jays snapped the Indians' 14-game win streak yesterday. They beat them 9-6. Josh Donaldson had a big day at the plate, a couple of key hits. The Indians are playing great baseball, and Terry Francona's ball club in first place over the Kansas City Royals in the American League Central. Let's take a look at their lineup. 49-31, 18 games over 500. The former Blue Jay. He had quite a series so far, including hitting for the cycle yesterday. 6 for 15 with 5 extra base hits. Rajai Davis has 2 home runs in this series. And then down in the ninth spot, Lonnie Chisenhall. He's hit well in this series, and he's got a good streak going over his last 6 games, batting .483 with 3 homers and 7 RBIs. They are set to take on Big J Happ, the lefty, coming off a 4-1 month of June.
Making his 17th start of the season. He's also coming off a start in Colorado where he really battled his way through 5 innings. He gave up 5 earned runs on 9 hits, but he won the ball game. He won his 4th consecutive start in that game to push that record to 10-3, a very respectable 370 earned run average for Jay Happ. He's made 2 starts for Seattle last year versus the Cleveland Indians, and they hit him hard, 6 earned runs over 7 1/3 innings. But in his lone career start versus Cleveland here at Rogers Center, he tossed 6 innings of 1-run ball. That was a Blue Jay win, 4-2.
As a team, the Blue Jays committed 42 errors, and they have good outfield defense. Little different look today. Kevin Pillar gets the day off. It's Saunders, Carrera, and Lake from left to right. Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Barney, and Smoke around the infield. And Russell Martin behind the plate. Russell making his 62nd start of the season.
There's Zeke out in center field. Here on yesterday's game, scoring the winning run. He's 4th start in center field this year. Last time started in center field was back on May the 20th at Minnesota.
Kevin Pillar has played all but 25 innings in center field this season, coming into today's game. Rajai Davis hits a one-hopper to Tulowitzki. Accurate, on the money. Tulowitzki very steady with that off-balance throw, and I guess it's off balance for everybody else, but for Tulowitzki, that's the norm.
I got to put a star next to that play right there for Tulowitzki, who was running number 1 in Rajai Davis, and then that difficult throw. The degree of difficulty was up there, but he made it look very easy.
Tulo coming up big on the first play of the game in support of Jay Happ, 1 down. Jason Kipnis was not in the original lineup this morning. He was a late addition as Juan Uribe, the third baseman, was scratched. Remember, Uribe got hit on the right hand yesterday batting, so he came out, tried to throw, and couldn't do it.
No off day for Jason Kipnis today, and he will get to face the left-hander. We've been talking this whole series about the power and the production from Kipnis. He's got 46 RBIs. He is on pace for 93. 93 RBIs for your second baseman, batting out of the 2nd spot.
2-0 in there for his strike. Kipnis for the series, 3 for 15. He has homered and driven in 2 in these 3 games. We mentioned Jay Happ, 4-1 in his 5 starts in the month of June. It's only the 2nd time in Jay's career that he's won 4 games in a month. He also did that in May of 2014. He went 4-2 that month.
He's been battling his last couple of starts out there, throwing a lot of pitches. He has only been able to go 5 innings in each of his last 2 starts, but he's won both of them.
Well, you know how I feel about starters and wins. I think it's their job to win games, and he won 4 of his 5 starts in June.
His only loss to the Detroit Tigers. That was at Detroit.
3-2 pitch to Kipnis. Line to right. Lake getting over. He's not going to be able to cut it off. He'll play it off the wall. Kipnis is headed for second. He'll get there with a slide. 14th double of the season for Jason Kipnis. It comes with 1 out here in the first.
Kipnis with a 1 out double is at second base. Jay Happ, you mentioned his numbers. He started strongly in April with an ERA of 2.76. It climbed a little bit to May and then to June. Although he has won 4 of his 5 decisions in June, the ERA has been up just a little bit. And he talks about that, saying, you know, I've just been battling. I haven't been able to throw the ball where I did early in the season. My fastball command has been off just a little bit. But tell you what, he gives you the great effort every time out there.
This is the young shortstop, Francisco Lindor. He did not start in the game yesterday, came on later on. Lindor hitting .304 for the series. Lindor 3 for 14 in this series. He doesn't have an extra base hit, and he struck out 4 times.
This is the guy you want to be careful with. There are his numbers over his last 19 games. The first left-handed pitching this year, he's been the best on the Cleveland Indians. .327 batting average versus left-handed pitching.
Inside, 2-1 now to the shortstop.
They have been rubbing up those baseballs. It's like he hasn't been real happy with the grip that he is having to deal with here in the first inning.
Off the plate, 3-1. Mike Napoli on deck. Powerful right-handed hitter. Waits on deck. That'll reach the seats out of play. That'll run the count to 4. Lindor is 22 years old. He was a first-round pick by the Indians in 2011 out of Caguas, Puerto Rico. He played high school ball in Florida. So we have seen that in the past where young Puerto Rican players have come over to Florida and played high school baseball. Strike 3 call, and he knew it. So J-Hat bounces back and gets a strikeout. That's the first strikeout of the afternoon for him.
Don't know if he couldn't pick up the ball or was looking for something off speed, but that's a 4-seamer right down Broadway for Lindor. He just couldn't pull the trigger. He must have been thinking off speed, or he just lost the ball on its way towards home plate. Lindor is frozen. Second out. Yeah, he moved to Orlando, played baseball in the Orlando area in Florida. It was a #1 pick.
Here's Mike Napoli. Napoli today is the DH. He and Santana have been alternating between first base and the DH spot in this series. Napoli has 3 hits in the 3-game series so far. Batting .235.
Big power. Be careful with this guy.
And Napoli's always thinking about doing major damage. He has 12 home runs here at Rogers Center. There's the numbers for the series.
He has been prone to strike out. He had 3 strikeouts in yesterday's ball game. He had 4 the day before, but if you make a mistake, he can hit it a long way.
That one's going to stay in the yard. Michael Saunders is there, and Jay Happ is through the first. The 1-out double is left on base. Corey Kluber will take the mound when we come back. He won the Cy Young Award in 2014. 9-6. John Gibbons trying to motivate his team to split the series by winning today. Let's take a look at the record for the Blue Jays. 44-39, currently third in the American League. He's Josh Donaldson. Over his last 11 games, batting .378 with 5 extra base hits and 9 RBIs. And then Darwin Marty in this series has come up big for the Blue Jays. 5 hits in 14 at-bats, including a pair of doubles.
Corey Kluber is now in his 7th season with the Cleveland Indians after being acquired from the San Diego Padres at the trade deadline in 2010. He's been ready for his 17th start of the season. Buck mentioned that he was the Cy Young Award winner just 2 years ago. Had an outstanding season. He's doing the same thing this year. 110 strikeouts. That's 5th best in the American League. He also leads the American League with 2 shutouts.
Ezequiel Carrera continues to lead off in the absence of Jose Bautista. Carrera's 1 for 12 in his series. His only hit was a bunt single. Pops this one up. This is going to be playable down the right field line. Kipnis can't see it, and here comes Chisenhall to save the day. Jason Kipnis looked up into the bright sky and couldn't locate the baseball, and he put his hands out and then indicated Chisenhall, I can't see it.
And they're all going to talk about it before they get back to their positions. The heart of the offense for the Blue Jays since June the 8th has been Josh Donaldson and Edwin Encarnacion. You got to deal with them in the first inning, and they have just torn the cover off of the ball. 33 extra base hits between them, and they've driven in 52 runs between them. That's since June the 8th. Seems like they have been up in big situations over the last 3 weeks. Every single time the Blue Jays have needed a big hit.
Donaldson, of course, had a big hit in yesterday's game. As a matter of fact, he had 2 big hits. Tied it up in the 7th and then hit the game winner in the 8th. Home run leading off the 7th inning off his former teammate Dan Otero. 289 for the season. He has reached that 20 home run plateau.
Yeah, and he used that information that he had off of his old teammate. He was talking about that after the game, that he said, I knew he liked to throw a lot of sliders, so I was looking for it when I stepped up to the plate that inning.
Ground ball through the left side into left field. Donaldson with the base hit. Jose Ramirez, the third baseman, just couldn't get over in time. Donaldson has a hit in his first at bat. Let's take a look at the Indians defensively. Now they set up. Rajay Davis is in left. Abraham Almonte, just off the 80-game suspension, activated in center field. Chisenhall in right. Ramirez filling in for Uribe at third. Lindor and Kipnis up the middle. Santana at first, and Yan Gomes behind the plate.
Jose Ramirez was originally slated at second base. That would have been 4 different positions, 4 different games in this series. He's been a guy who's played all over the place. 37 games in left field, 6 at second, 5 at shortstop, 44 games now at third base for Ramirez.
Edwin Encarnacion takes a first pitch strike. Edwin hit a 3-run homer in the first inning in yesterday's game. That game against Zach McAllister, the reliever who was the emergency starter for Cleveland after that 19-inning game Friday.
He's back in the bullpen today. We might see him again today for an inning.
Ball and a strike to Encarnacion. Donaldson, he picks his spots very effectively in stolen base situations, but he's not running here. Josh is 6 for 6 in steals this year, but he's going to let Edwin get settled into this at bat.
He was part of a double steal the other night that helped the Blue Jays score a run, but here in the first inning, now you gotta let this guy swing it.
Outside for his career, Edwin 2 for 10 against Kluber. Kluber is a sinker slider pitcher with good stuff. Obviously, he won the Cy Young in 2014.
Yeah, that sinker, that 2-seamer, was the pitch that has really elevated him to the status of where he is right now in the American League.
Kluber may have lost his footing a bit in that landing area, doing a little bit of groundskeeping himself, but he spun out of his last pitch. Continues to look at the landing spot in front of the pitching rubber.
Still doing some manicuring on that mound. First inning here, you want to get out there and get that good toe hole. First with your right foot where you can push off, and then your left foot, that landing spot.
3-1 pitch. Ground ball, foul, wide of third. Kluber is the ace of this Indians pitching staff. There's no question about it. Not only does he lead by his pitching, but he leads by his workout, his routine, and his professionalism.
It's a good guy to follow. They got a lot of young pitchers. Danny Salazar, who we did not see in this 4-game series, I think is right behind him in terms of stuff.
Kluber thinking maybe Donaldson will take off on his 3-2 pitch. Michael Sanders is on deck, a left-handed hitter. Donaldson not going. High drive deep to left field. Rajai Davis at the track, at the wall, and makes the catch. Davis stayed with it. Donaldson was all the way to second. He hurries back to first. Edwin just missed another first inning home run.
You know, he was right on top of the plate. Edwin Encarnacion trying to take away that breaking ball from Corey Kluber, was forcing him to use his fastball, and he got a fastball and just missed it. Rajai Davis had this thing measured the whole way. He knew that it was going to stay in the ballpark. He knew how far he could go to get that ball. Runs it down right in front of that scoreboard. Takes away extra bases from Edwin.
Michael Sanders had a 3-hit game yesterday. His only 3 hits of this series. Michael has struck out 9 times in this 3-game series, including 5 on Friday. 2 out swings at the first pitch.
No reason to feel bad about that. The Indians pitching staff comes in here with the best pitching staff in the American League.
For the 3 games, the Blue Jays as a team have 45 strikeouts. They've managed just 3 doubles and 5 home runs and have hit 200 in those 3 games against the Indians.
Again, the best pitching staff, the best bullpen in their ranks in the American League. Plus, the Blue Jays played an extra game the other day, didn't they?
19 innings.
That's worth 2.
Trevor Bauer pitched 5 innings of relief to pick up the win on Friday. He was scheduled to pitch Saturday as a starter, but they thrust him into action late in that game. 1-1 to Sanders. Drive down the left field line. This is trouble if fair. Up against the wall. Donaldson heads for third. Davis's throw goes to second. And Michael Sanders off to a good start this afternoon with his 22nd double of the season.
What a pretty swing from Michael Sanders, just staying on that ball and just taking it the other way. You mentioned the game that he had yesterday. You can see it right there, slicing it down the left field line. He had a double in the 8th inning just like that. Pitch that was away from him. He stayed on top of it, drilled it into the corner, and it was played so well by Rajai Davis. Josh Donaldson cannot score from first base on that extra base hit. Good swing from Sanders.
Russell Martin now with a chance to put the Blue Jays out on top early. The Blue Jays are the 3rd best scoring team to score in the first inning in all of baseball. The Nationals have scored 65 first inning runs, and then the White Sox and Blue Jays are tied with 61 first inning runs.
Let's take the lead right here.
Right on the corner, ball on the strike.
Russell's at his best when he's going right back through the middle. He can drive in some big runs if he stays right in the middle of the diamond.
Martin has 29 ribbies so far this season. Takes a ball downstairs. It's 2-1.
When he is ahead in the count like he is right now, he's a .333 hitter. 2-1. Here's the middle of the diamond that he can work with. All you got to do is get the ball by the pitcher with a little something on it. You've got a hit and a couple of RBIs.
Fly ball to deep center field. This one is up and gone. Home run for Martin. Russell Martin has 2 hits against Corey Kluber. He's 2 for 6, and both of them have been home runs.
Yeah, that's a big one in the first inning. You mentioned those first inning runs for the Blue Jays, taking a little pressure off the pitching. Russell stayed in the middle of the field and crushed the ball to center field.
There's a base hit for Tulowitzki. The Blue Jays jumping on Corey Kluber here in the first. 3 runs on 4 hits. Another look at the Russell Martin homer.
One more time. Look how he stays together and lets that ball travel. Doesn't pull off of this one. Just drives it right back through the middle and deep. That is a pretty swing right there. 3 RBIs with 1 swing.
Edwin Encarnacion hit a 3-run homer in the first yesterday. Russell Martin hits one of his own here today. Only the 9th home run Corey Kluber has allowed this season. So now the Blue Jays have scored 64 first inning runs, just 1 behind the Nationals. Best in the majors. Three 0 Jays. Justin Smoke just 1 for 9 in the series, but that one hit's a home run. Smoke homered for the only Blue Jay run in the ball game on Friday. Hit a home run in the 6th inning to tie the score at 1-1, and that would stay that way until the 19th inning.
Three 3-0. Give him a green light. John Gibbons is really good at that, letting his players decide if they want to swing 3-0 or not. He's got a team full of veteran hitters, and he lets them, you know, when you're ahead, that might be the best pitch you see in the whole at bat. So he's got a lot of confidence in his players to swing it.
A cutter inside, and it's a full count. Troy Tulowitzki at first will be off on the pitch. The Blue Jays have scored 3 runs on 4 hits this inning. Tulowitzki with a single to right. There goes Tulowitzki. Strike 3 called, inside corner. Smoke is struck out. But Russell Martin, the Blue Jays catcher, comes up big in his first at bat. He goes straight away center field for a 3-run home run to give Jay Happ the cushion. 3-0 Blue Jays.
talk with outfielder Ezequiel Carrera and asked him about that play at the plate in yesterday's ball game, a call that was eventually overturned to give the Blue Jays that go-ahead run. Carrera told me that when Josh Donaldson made contact with that baseball, he wanted to be aggressive there in scoring position, but hesitated because he needed to be sure it dropped in there for a single. When that happened, he dropped his head and, quote, ran as fast as I could. When he slid head first, Carrera knew the catcher missed the tag, but what he wasn't sure of was that whether there was an angle on the replay to overturn the out call. Now, back in 2005, when he was with the Mets, one of Carrera's coaches encouraged him to be very aggressive on the base paths and always take full advantage of his speed, Buck, and that's exactly what he did in yesterday's ball game.
A terrific slide had proved to be the winning run in that ball game. And the replay review, Terry Francona wasn't quite convinced that was the right call, but of course he was the manager of the losing team. Carlos Santana, switch hitter, batting right-handed against Jay Happ. Santana's had a good series. 5 for 15. He's hit a double and 2 home runs in the series.
Showing power from both sides of the plate. He's also got a very good eye.
Pulls this one on the ground. Tulowitzki at short. Over to Smoke. 1 down. Well, Jay Happ has already been staked to a 3-0 lead, and he's been used to that. During the month of June, he really got a ton of run support.
Couldn't say that the 4 games before that, previous 4, 5 runs. The last 4, 36 runs, included 13 versus Philadelphia, got 8 at Colorado, 9 versus the Baltimore Orioles. But it's been a battle for him. He hasn't lost over his last 4 starts, but he has been battling them and battling the strike zone. It's just not as sharp as he was early in the year, but pitchers will do that. They'll go up and down like that.
Peaks and valleys, and pitchers will tell you, they'll be the first ones to tell you they don't go out there every single start with all of their pitches intact.
You know what he has, though, I think this year than the first time we saw him as a Blue Jay. He's got more weapons to get you out. He can turn the ball over for a sinker. He can cut the ball in on right-handers if he has to. There's one right there.
Another thing that Jay has, and it's a thing that'll make you relax, he's got a nice contract. He's got a 3-year contract with the Blue Jays, and he also saw something in Kershaw when he pitched here that helped him out as he gets the second strikeout, the high fastball. He said, when I saw Kershaw pitch, I realized you don't have to be perfect with every pitch.
And this is the best in the game, and Clayton Kershaw. He sat there and watched him and saw how he worked his way through the lineup and how he was winning ball games. And you're right, you don't have to be perfect every single pitch to be a winner.
Ramirez strikes out, 2 down. Yan Gomes, the former Blue Jay, goes after the first pitch. Tulowitzki gets a nice hop. On Sunday, it's appropriate. A Sunday hop, 3 up, 3 down. Just 7 pitches for Jay Happ.
Support Jay's Care by purchasing an $85 fan pack. The price includes shipping. Packs include reusable Blue Jays jersey tote bag, stainless steel kids water bottle, Blue Jays blow-up baseball bat, Blue Jays hat, and Blue Jays shoelaces. Get your pack today. Visit bluejays.com/broadcast auction.
Thank you, Hazel. Beautiful afternoon here, and this has been a terrific series for attendance. Blue Jay fans have turned out in big numbers. Yesterday, 46,197. On Friday, 45,825.
We talked about that in the opening, Buck, about how the Blue Jays, what they're drawing now. They are averaging over 38,000 a game here at Rogers Center, which is #1 in the American League. And they're on pace for over 3 million fans, something that hasn't happened around here since 1993. And we all remember what happened in '93. World Series championship team. Tell you what, for the ball players, they love it when they come here. The excitement and the energy that the fans give these players every single night here.
Yeah, and it really picked up in the second half of the season last year. After the All-Star break, the Blue Jays made those dramatic trades, picking up Troy Tulowitzki, David Price, Hawkins, Lowe. They did a terrific job of energizing this ball club, and at the same time, it energized the fans.
I cannot believe when I walk around downtown after these types of day games and you see Troy Tulowitzki signing autographs on his day. This is his bobblehead giveaway day. But you walk around town on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday night and all you see is Blue Jay jerseys. I mean, everybody has caught fire.
Broken bat, one hopper, handcuffs Ramirez. Laco reached with a base hit. He wasn't really sure how hard that ball was hit. By the sound, you could tell the bat was broken, and he never really had a good chance to make a play.
You know, we talked on defense that Ramirez has played some games at left field, second base, shortstop, and third base. And when you move around like that, the little things, the little plays like this that you're not real used to because you don't play the game or the position enough, those kind of plays, they trick you. And that time, handcuffed Ramirez at third base.
So it's a leadoff single for Junior Lake. Darwin Barney checks his swing but goes around.
You know, if you're an everyday third baseman, you'll know, you'll just react that you go and charge that ball and you catch it on the short hop. You smother that ball. He laid back on it just a little bit and it played him. But that's not his fault. He just isn't familiar when you're moving around like that.
Barney takes one inside. It's a ball and a strike. Juan Uribe came out today to throw, see if he could play. He was hit by a pitch yesterday in the 6th inning with the bases loaded. He came out early, tried to play catch. In fact, had 2 separate sessions of playing catch and couldn't answer the bell.
He was in the lineup this morning. And then right around lunchtime, he was scratched. After that session you were just talking about, he's out here trying to throw. Terry Francona saying he can't grip the baseball.
There goes Lake. Barney gets a piece of it, and the Blue Jays playing hit and run. Darwin Barney got a piece of it to foul it off. The Indians, they have 3 bench players today because they brought up Abraham Almonte. Here's a look at the hit and run.
Just fouled off trying to make that play, but one of them can't play. Uribe might be able to hit.
I think he can hit. It's his right hand and obviously throwing hand, so it's probably the area that's going to be the biggest concern. Snap throw from Gomes. Nice save by Santana. Yan Gomes will throw behind the runners. He's got a strong arm and accurate throwing arm. This one was headed down the right field line, not for the effort by Santana.
And he's not afraid to throw around. We've seen him throw to every one of the bases. That time a little late. That runs the count to 3-2. And if you're going to hit and run on 2-1, I'm sure you're going to do the same thing here.
There goes Lake. Ball 4. So Lake slides in safely, but it's ball 4. It won't be a stolen base, obviously. So it's an infield hit and a walk to start the bottom of the second. So now there's a conference on the mound. Everybody talking about the possibility of a bunt with Ezequiel Carrera at the plate.
Yeah, everybody's in there. The shortstop's in there. Santana, the first baseman, was in there. Gomes. Shortstop's probably asking what sign you're going to be used with the runner at second base now. Got to believe that Ezequiel Carrera is going to be bunting here. Maybe not a sacrifice. He might even try and bunt for a base hit.
Where's the ideal bunt location in this situation?
Now, I'd love to see him bunt at the third base and make Ramirez, the third baseman, leave his position, have to field that ball, and it gives Lake a chance to go to third base.
Corner infield is well in front of the dirt. Santana creeping down from first, and Carrera shows bunt. Takes a ball. The Blue Jays are up 3-0. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it off right here. Carrera's been swinging the bat well. Kluber's behind. He thinks they're going to bunt. Probably throw him a fastball.
I'd love to see him get it on the ground too. Look how close Santana at first base and the third baseman are in.
Showing bunt again. It's 2-0. It's going to take a perfect bunt to advance the runners. Now it's 2-0. I'd take it off.
Take it off. Get the ball on the ground. You got a great chance of getting it into the outfield. Those 3 runs in the first inning give you that opportunity, don't they?
2-0. Swinging away, and he fouls it into the seats. Yeah, when you have the corner infielders crashing, anticipating a bunt, and then the hitter swings, all they're going to do is duck.
That's what Santana did over at first base. And he's like, okay.
They're not going to worry about fielding it. They're just going to duck.
Get out of the way.
Two and one now to Carrera. Infielder still in at the corners. He shows bunt again and bunts it to the pitcher. Kluber better hurry. Just in time. Bill Wilkie, the first base umpire.
They're going to check this one.
Looked down the line as if he wasn't sure if the ball was caught by Kipnis. And John Gibbons said, hold up a minute. He's talking to John Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire. He said, we want to look at this one.
From up here, where Kipnis caught the ball, it was almost like he caught it right on top of the head of Carrera, who was running down the line. Here's the bounce by Kluber. Now he's got to set his feet. But watch where he catches the ball. Right above his helmet. And if it's above his helmet, where's his foot?
Carrera hadn't touched the bag.
He hadn't touched the bag.
Kipnis caught the ball, so he was out. But so Zeke gets the sacrifice bunt. Mickey Callaway has come off the bench, and he's out to the mound to talk to Corey Kluber. Okay, I got some good news and I got some bad news. You got a base open. You can walk Donaldson, but then the bases will be loaded for Encarnacion.
Do you give him the option here?
I think you can do it to Kluber because obviously he's a veteran. He has control, he has command, and they're going to put him on.
And the defense indicates that. Everybody shifted over. You give him the option. Do you want to pitch to Donaldson or do you want to pitch to Encarnacion? And it looks like Kluber said, you know what, I'd rather put Donaldson on, set up the double play, try and get Encarnacion.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the hitters, Donaldson or Encarnacion. It has everything to do with the double play. Before we continue, Pat, we've had a scoring change. The Junior Lake base hit has been changed to an error. So he reaches on the air by Ramirez.
Let me get my white out.
So Edwin Encarnacion will step to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out.
And this is how the Blue Jays started yesterday's ball game. Fastball down and away, and he stays in the middle of the field just like Russell Martin did. Clobbers this ball to center field. 3 quick runs for the Blue Jays. And Edwin has a chance now to really put a dart in the heart of the Indians right here. Bases loaded and just 1 out.
Now they're going to talk about it. That's just the 9th intentional walk issued to the Blue Jays. You just don't have many spots where you want to walk a guy to get to the next guy.
Especially this part of the batting order. But I think the situation called for, hey, you know, we're already down by 3 runs. They've got runners on base. Let me try and get it out of here with 1 pitch on a double play.
Cutter on the corner for a strike.
Edwin is right on top of that plate. It's almost like he is daring Kluber to throw him a fastball inside.
The Blue Jays have grounded into 79 double plays, most in the American League. 0-2. Jays are up 3-0 over Corey Kluber and the Indians. Good breaking ball down and away, and a strikeout for Kluber, his 2nd of the game.
Didn't throw 1 fastball to him there. Everything was off-speed pitch, and that's been something that's been very effective for Corey Kluber. The opponent's average versus that curveball, 2015, that's pretty good at 136. This year it's just 073. It's a sharp breaker. And if you ask him, you say, is that a curveball or is that a slider? He says, you call it whatever you want. But it's a great pitch. Gets a lot of strikeouts with it.
Michael Saunders had a double to left field his first time up. This time he gets fooled on a breaking ball. The Blue Jays have had plenty of opportunities with the bases loaded in this series. They are now 0 for 5 with the bases loaded in this series against Cleveland. When you have a veteran like Corey Kluber, you allow him to choose how he wants to get out of a tough situation, and that's what Mickey Callaway did when he went to the mound.
And what he's choosing to do right now is throw that breaking ball to try and get out of this mess. It worked against Encarnacion. He's ahead of Saunders.
Staying inside. Michael has seen this before. They have pitched him inside a lot all season long, especially after Kluber gave up that double out over the plate and Saunders knocked it to the wall and left. Corey Kluber strikes out Encarnacion and Saunders with the bases loaded. Blue Jays can't take advantage of the bases loaded situation.
stage is 3,535 kilometers. Watch all the action of cycling's most prestigious event, the Tour de France, July 2nd to 24th, right here on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 1.
Great sporting event, and you can see that man right there. He's got the yellow jersey. That's what everybody's looking for at the end of each stage of the Tour de France. We move to the top of the third. Abraham Almonte playing in his first big league game of the season. Almonte was suspended, failing a drug test in February this spring. He was suspended for 80 games. Last year, he split time between San Diego and Cleveland. He's also spent time with the Seattle Mariners in 2013 and 2014.
Above average defender at center field. He had 5 home runs in 51 games for the Indians last year. And on his rehab start down at the minor leagues, you saw his numbers hitting over 450.
Jay Happ finds an inside corner. 3 strikeouts for Happ. 1 down here in the third.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Bonnie Chisenhall, a lefty right fielder. Bats with 1 out. Jay Happ seems to be zeroed in much better here this afternoon.
Yeah, throwing a lot more strikes from the second inning on. Lonnie Chisenhall, you can see him now getting his at-bats against left-handed pitching. He's got that average up over 300. Last year, he moved in the middle of the season to right field, and I think it was the best thing for him. He was a third baseman. Since they have moved him into the outfield since last year, he's hit .299 with 8 homers and 44 RBIs and 350 plate appearances. But he comes up empty this time against the left-hander.
Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. You know what? Everybody was ready to anoint the Cubs the World Series champions, but we got almost a half a season left. And Chicago does have a 9-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals, but the Cardinals have won 2 in a row. The Cubs have lost 3 in a row. And there's a lot of baseball to be played just yet.
Don't forget about those Pirates now. They've been in the playoffs the last couple of years, and they've got the pitching to go on a nice little run.
Pittsburgh's won 3 in a row at the start of play today. Rajay Davis behind 0-2. Gets a piece of it to stay alive. And we talked about this in this series, how Davis has matured as a hitter. In years past, when he played with the Blue Jays, he'd swing at that last breaking ball and miss it by a foot.
Yeah, the one off the plate. That time he was able to foul it off. He was talking about his coaches over here, Ty Van Berkelo, who has helped him to stay in a good hitting position, but not this time.
Jay Happ strikes out the side. He gets Monty Chisenhall and Rajay Davis for Happ. That's 5 strikeouts. And we have seen this before from Jay Happ. He had 8 strikeouts in his last start. The fastball gets Rajay Davis to end the inning.
is this week's Sunday Salute.
Congratulations, Sergeant Mason, and it's a very nice Sunday salute. Something happens every Sunday here at home at Rogers Center, and it's a very nice weekend for Sergeant Mason, given that it's Canada Day weekend. Russell Martin, boy, he had a nice at bat his first time up, a 3-run home run to dead center.
Keep that same swing. He doesn't have to pull the ball to knock it out of the ballpark. Evidence of that home run. He's now up to 32 RBIs.
Breaking ball for a strike. Russell's home run number 7 for him this season. Another breaking ball down. 2-2.
Used that breaking ball a lot the last couple of batters, hasn't he? He was in a tight situation. I can understand why. Encarnacion, Saunders, the bases loaded. You can go to it. That's been a big strikeout pitch for him.
There's that running fastball. Lindor at short. Nice throw. Good stretch by Santana. Russell Martin's retired.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Rogers 4K TV. Get closer to the action with 4 times the resolution of HD alone.
Troy Tulowitzki singled his first time up through the right side into right field. It is Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. People were lined up at 8 o'clock this morning to make sure they didn't get shut out. And then Troy Tulowitzki very accommodating in signing autographs prior to the game today.
Are you telling me he was signing autographs yesterday too?
Troy's got a young son, Taz, and he was out running the bases yesterday as part of the Junior Jays Saturday. And when Taz got tired, and it took him 3 or 4 laps around the bases, Troy was very accommodating to a group of wheelchair people that were down on the field as well, and signed autographs and made their day. And you can see this is about a half an hour before the gates opened, how many people lined up to make sure they got a Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead doll.
I always like when the players, especially on days like today, a day game, you know, you're up early in the morning, but there was Tulo down the left field line signing autographs for all the fans. They go down there to stretch out, to run and everything like that, and they're always asking for autographs. He was right there signing every one of them.
You know what, and you and I obviously are quite a bit older than the players, and we really understand how much it means to a fan just to be able to say, man, I got Tulo's autograph before the game, and it's something, it's a lifetime memory. There's no question about it. And for a player, you know, they have so much time where they're really doing nothing. I encourage them all to sign more autographs. This is popped up. Santana gives chase, and it's just out of his reach. He may have actually tipped that ball. Santana was a minor league infielder with the Dodgers. And then he became a catcher. Now he's a first baseman, so he's very athletic.
He's got some athletic moves. He did tip it, but it was after the bounce. That was a hard play for that first baseman. He is running directly with his back towards the infield, over his head, looking up into the sky, up into the sun. Santana, third base, like you said, he was also a catcher. Now he's over at first base. We've seen him as a DH. Almost came up with that one. Looks like he might have done something to his shoulder after he hit the ground.
Troy Tulowitzki with a 1-2 count. Ground ball through the left side. Tulowitzki takes advantage of the fact that Santana couldn't make a catch on that foul pop. He's 2 for 2.
Well, I like the bat quickness that we saw that time. First time up, he shot the ball into right field. This time up, he's going to turn on a pitch. So watch how quickly this bat gets through. And under the glove of Lindor. Tulo is 2 for 2.
One out. Justin Smoke, the first baseman, called out on strikes his first time up. Smoke took a fastball on the inside corner for strike 3. That ended the first. Took a shot at that inside corner again. This time he missed.
Kluber's last start against the Blue Jays came last May, in 2015, and it wasn't a very good one, just 5 innings, where the former Cy Young Award winner gave up 5 runs. Struggling a little bit this afternoon, too.
You mentioned the Cy Young Award. Kluber also has the distinction of holding the 9-inning strikeout record. He shares it with the great Bob Feller. He had 18 strikeouts in an 8-inning effort against the Cardinals last May. It's a high pop into shallow left field. Ramirez back. He makes the catch, and Smoke's retired.
Think about that. 18 strikeouts, and he ties the record held by Bob Feller.
He had 18 strikeouts, allowed 1 hit, and didn't walk a batter. And now he's in the books with Bob Feller, which means a lot to his father. Corey's father, Jim, grew up an Indians fan outside of Cleveland. And he was an Indians fan during the 50s when they had those great teams. And when Corey got traded from San Diego to the Indians, he called his father and said, "Dad, I've just been traded to the Cleveland Indians." And it was great news for his dad.
7 years now he has been with the Indians organization.
Corey said, as far as I was concerned, it was just another one of the 30 teams, but to my dad it was his childhood team, and it meant a lot to him, and because of that it means a lot to me.
And now his name is right next to Bob Feller's in eight innings, 18 strikeouts.
Junior Lake reached on an air his first time up. Initially it was scored a base hit. Broken bat, 1 hopper that bounced off Jose Ramirez at third. Ramirez was later charged with an error. (0-2) to Junior Lake, starting in right field today. Kevin Pillar getting the day off. A well-deserved day off.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, he's been on base a lot, and he plays a position in center field where you're doing a lot of running, and we've seen all the great catches that Kevin has made. He also fouled a couple of balls off of his legs, one off of his ankle, one off of his knee, so he banged up just a little bit, could use the rest. If the Blue Jays have the lead, though, late in this game, we might see him come in for defensive reasons late.
You can bet his mind is still in this game. He said, if you need me, I'll be ready to play defense. Put him back out there. Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead.
I'll tell you what, if nothing else, they have really made Corey Kluber work. 26 pitches in the first inning, 26 more in the second inning. That was his 20th pitch here in the third inning. He's up to 72 pitches already, and we're only in the third.
And both of these teams' bullpens have been taxed in this series.
They're hoping for a quick game, 7 innings. Not sure if they're going to be able to get that if he's up to 73 pitches.
Another breaking ball well outside. It's a full count now with 2 outs. Jan Gomes, the catcher, reminding his infielders that the runner at first will be moving on the pitch. Troy Tulowitzki, with his second single of the afternoon, will be moving on the Kluber pitch. Ball 4. That's the third walk issued by Kluber this afternoon. He walked Donaldson intentionally in the second.
He came into this game with just 23 walks all season long in 110 2/3 innings. Blue Jays have really made him work this afternoon.
The Blue Jays were the only team in the American League East to win yesterday. They won. Everybody else lost. Baltimore lost their third straight. Tampa Bay lost their third straight. The Yankees have lost 2 in a row. Does it make any difference the margin you lose by? Does that count more?
If you're the Boston Red Sox, you better hope it doesn't, right?
Boston got beat 21-2 at the hands of the Angels yesterday. Clay Buchholz, he's just not getting it done. He started that game. Darwin Barney has a good rip and fouls it into the seats.
Baltimore gave up a few runs yesterday too, didn't they? Gave up 12.
Baltimore out in Seattle. They've lost 3 in a row. Seattle beat them 12-6. James Paxson, the Canadian, was the winner. One count to Darwin Barney. Outside.
They have not offered at that slider, have they? Stayed off of it, so he's going to have to make that adjustment and start throwing it in the strike zone. Blue Jays, especially the right-handed batters, have not swung at that all afternoon.
Darwin had a good cut at that fastball. It's 2-2. The Blue Jays have stranded 4 already in this game. They left the bases loaded in the second. Stranded a base runner in the first. Tulowitzki at second. Lake at first. That breaking ball backed up, stayed inside, but Barney just fouled it back to the screen, out of play. Unlike Jay Happ, Corey Kluber's command has been a little bit iffy.
Yeah. He's got 3 strikeouts, but he's also had 3 walks, 5 hits.
Jay Happ off to a good start. He's picked up 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. They just won't chase that breaking ball down and away. It's a full count again. Blue Jays have had plenty of full count opportunities so far.
Just hasn't thrown that slider close enough for the Blue Jays to even offer at it. They have just let it go. And they have really upped his pitch count.
Both runners will be off on this pitch. There they go. Strike 3 called, and Barney knew it. He got caught looking at that fastball, and Kluber gets out of it. The Blue Jays have stranded 6 so far, and here comes the ultimate cleanup crew, brought to you by Home Hardware's exclusive line of the ultimate hard-hitting and tough-on-grime cleaning products.
this rematch. Come down to Rogers Center and watch the Blue Jays as they take on the Kansas City Royals starting tomorrow, July 4th to July 6th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Kansas City Royals back at Rogers Center for the first time since last October. Kansas City, they're in a little bit of a tough spot. They're 6 games back of the Cleveland Indians, but Pat, we talked about this yesterday. They are -9 in run differential. They're not getting the same type of pitching they got last year.
And they're missing some big bats out of that lineup. Mike Moustakas is out for the season. Lorenzo Cain just went on the DL. Kendrys Morales seems to be swinging a hot bat. Tough to win year in and year out in Major League Baseball.
Bouncing ball smoke will go to the bag and retire Jason Kipnis. Well, we mentioned the Royals will be here for a 3-game series. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Edinson Volquez against Aaron Sanchez. Aaron at 8-1 for the season. Then the big right-hander Chris Young. He's having a tough season, 2-7 against R.A. Dickey. Ian Kennedy's been a nice pickup for Kansas City. Marcus Stroman, after a very good outing his last time out on Friday.
Kennedy's had some good games, but he still has a record under 500 and an ERA over 4. He's had some big games for him, some big strikeout games, but they don't have Johnny Cueto like they had last year. Ventura is just coming off a suspension. He hasn't been the same pitcher.
Francisco Lindor, 2-0 count on the shortstop. Kendrys Morales, we mentioned his hot stretch. He's hit 2 home runs on Saturday. He's 19 for his last 31. That's a .613 batting average. He has 6 home runs, 13 RBIs over his last 8 games. So he's the one guy the Blue Jays will really be keyed in on in these upcoming 3 games against Kansas City.
Another hitter, Eric Hosmer, is having a great year for Kansas City.
There's a strike to Lindor. Jay Happ struck out the side in the 3rd.
And he has that ability to get upstairs with that fastball, and batters come up empty against him. Got a very quick arm swing when he delivers the pitch, and he can spin that baseball.
Lindor strikes out.
The checkered flag event is back, celebrating over 50 years of racing heritage in every Honda. Now is a great time to get into the all-new Civic.
Gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Toronto. People out on Lake Ontario enjoying the beautiful weather. It was 25 degrees at the start of this ball game. And hardly a hint of a breeze. Mike Napoli flied out to left field his first time up. Bounce this one wide of 3rd. Jay Happ has retired 10 straight Indians. They've had just 1 base runner. That was Jason Kipnis, who doubled in the 1st inning.
6 of those 10 with a strikeout. With a lot of pitches just like that. Fastball up in the strike zone, and hitters just can't come up with it. They can't put solid wood on it.
Napoli was aware it was going to be upstairs and almost chased that high pitch. Got him thinking up now.
Cut it. Cut that ball down now. That's what he got him last time, to fly out to left field. That little cutter inside. That's it. Here it comes.
Textbook. Couple fastballs upstairs. You go downstairs. And Happ with 2 more strikeouts. He's retired 11 in a row. Napoli strikes out For Napoli, that's his 8 strikeouts in the 4-game series.
Hashtag TBT t-shirt is presented by Honda. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Throwback Thursday retro t-shirt this Thursday when the Blue Jays open their series with the Detroit Tigers at 7:07 p.m. For more information and tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Ezequiel Carrera leads things off for the Blue Jays here in the 4th. Carrera popped out and had a perfectly executed sac bunt. That came in the 2nd inning.
Well, it's been a struggle for Corey Kluber this afternoon. Falls behind again here. 2-0 to the leadoff batter.
Yeah, he has not had real good command all day long, and he's just in the 4th, but his pitch count is way up there already. Next pitch will be 90. They don't have many options down in their bullpen given the way this series has played out. Terry Francona needs to have Kluber pitch deeper into this game. A leadoff walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Kansas City is facing a tough customer in Vince Velasquez. Velasquez has allowed just 2 hits through 3 innings and struck out 3. He's just off the disabled list. Throwing the ball well again. Josh Donaldson has a base hit to center. Carrera's around second. He's headed to third. Donaldson stops at first with a single. JD is 2 for 2 with a walk.
That was a bullet right there from Josh Donaldson. He was looking for something off speed after the walk. Kluber throws him a little cutter. It stays up in the middle, and he smokes that ball through the infield. Lindor, the shortstop, had no chance to get this one. Rolls into the outfield. Carrera goes to third base, and the Blue Jays threatening again.
Blue Jays have had runners on in each inning so far this afternoon. Erwin Encarnacion is 0 for 2. He just missed hitting a home run his first time up. Took Rajay Davis to the wall in deep left center.
Struck him out on breaking balls his last time up with the bases loaded. So Edwin was looking out over the plate right there. Kluber threw a fastball inside. Now you can switch your thoughts. Throw him a breaking ball.
First up for the Indians this afternoon is Jabba Chamberlain. Edwin checks on that high pitch. Looked like a pretty good pitch. The Blue Jays might have gotten away with one there.
I think they did. You can see that number 3 of pitch trackers almost in the middle of the plate. Sharp breaking ball from Kluber. So instead of 1-2, it's now 2-1, and Encarnacion's in the driver's seat.
Edwin Encarnacion was thrown out of the game on Friday. Made contact with the umpire Victor Paza, and the league has come down with a 1-game suspension for Encarnacion. And of course, he has appealed that 1-game suspension. He is active in playing in this game today. Fly ball into shallow left. Lindor out. The shortstop makes the play. Falls down, and here comes Carrera. And he's going to score. What a job by Carrera. He never took his eyes off the shortstop. He tagged, came off the bag, and when Lindor slipped, Carrera broke for home.
Textbook, that's exactly how you play it. Ideally, you want your left fielder catching that ball because he's coming in towards the infield. But there's Carrera. You tag up, you start to go, you just read the play. We read that Lindor slipped and fell. So he will get an RBI for Edwin Encarnacion. One more time, he's backing up, and he knows that he's tagging up at third base, but when he went to plant that foot, it gave way. And really no chance to get him at the plate.
It's a sacrifice fly for Encarnacion. He picks up an RBI, his 74th. Lindor lost his footing, and Carrera, he did a good job of running with his head up. Scores on the short pop-up to shortstop. We have seen several of the Indians' defensive players slip on this surface. Tyler Naquin slipped several times, first in right field and then in center field, and now Lindor does the same thing. Just lost his footing, fell to the ground, and that led to a Blue Jays run. This is going to drop in right. Donaldson is headed around second. He'll go to third, and Saunders is in safely at second with a double. Second double of the afternoon for Michael Saunders.
First one was down the left field line as he stayed on a fastball and just drilled it down the left field line. This time he's going to pull it down the right field line. And I'll tell you what, he was thinking 2 all the way. Pitch that was in on Michael Saunders. He sees that it's going to fall, and right there he kicks it into gear. And he hustles his way into second base. How about that pop-up slide? Nicely done. He is now 2 for 3.
Corey Kluber is going to be out of this game. Terry Francona takes a baseball from Kluber. He's given up 4 runs on 7 hits. The 2 base runners on base are his responsibility. Big Jabba Chamberlain will come on. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, and the Blue Jays lead it 4-0.
support his team with TSC and discover officially licensed Blue Jays fan gear. Shop online at tsc.ca.
Another great crowd on hand here at Rogers Center. Corey Kluber out of the game as the Blue Jays touch him up for 4 runs on 7 hits. Joba Chamberlain into the ball game.
Second shortest outing of the season for Corey Kluber, a game high 4 walks, so he is out. His pitch count was up. Joba Chamberlain in for the 20th time, and we saw Joba in that 19-inning marathon on Friday. He was signed to a free agent contract in December, added to the roster at the beginning of April. Everybody knows about Chamberlain. I believe he made his major league debut right here in this ballpark with the Yankees.
Chamberlain throws a first pitch for a ball to Russell Martin. Martin hit a 3-run home run in his first at bat. Encarnacion with the sac fly, courtesy of a good piece of base running by Ezequiel Carrera. A run in here in the 4th.
Chance to have a big day right here for Russell. Base hit into the outfield. He'll have 2 more RBIs.
Russell's had 4 3 RBI games this season, and now they're going to put him on. Once they fell behind 2-0, they thought they'd start fresh with a new batter. The second intentional walk of the afternoon. Donaldson was walked intentionally in the 2nd. Now Chamberlain's going to put Martin aboard.
Look at Russell. Look where he is on the plate. He was getting as close to home plate, and if he missed with that last pitch, he was going to swing at it.
Troy Tulowitzki, he's 2 for 2 already today. On Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. Why not give him a thrill?
Yeah, he already has with a couple of hits. Now he's got a chance for a couple of RBIs.
Tulowitzki with 4 career grand slams. He's hit .301 with the bases loaded. "13 homers and 33 RBIs. He homered against Cleveland yesterday to cap off the fact that he is now homered against all 30 teams. Not close, 2-0.
There are his numbers in his career with the bases loaded. .358. He's driven in 94 runs in his career with the bases loaded. It's a chance to do it right here. Pick up a few more.
Fouls it back. One and 2. Tulowitzki, I mentioned before, he has just 2 career grand slams. 2-1 now. Foul back. Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. Fans lined up early to get their bobblehead dolls. Troy Tulowitzki responded so far with singles in the 1st and 3rd inning.
Chamberlain's tough. He's got that great wipeout slider that you might see right here with 2 strikes.
Line drive down the left field line. Steve fair ball, just foul.
Oh boy. And you can see Tulo, he knew he got enough of it. It was just a question of, is it going to be fair or is it going to be foul? That would have brought him out of their seats. He gets the breaking ball, hammers it down the line. He wasn't moving, but he knew it was foul.
Just hooks wide of that foul netting. 2-2, 1 out, bases loaded. The Indians, 3 defenders are back for double play. Santana even with the bag at first. If there's a little squibber in his direction, he'll come home.
Yeah, if you can't turn 2 at third base or first base, if you can't turn 2, at least get 1 at the plate.
Drive to right. Tagging at third is Donaldson. Here's the throw from Chisenhall. It's going to be late, and Donaldson scores. Tulowitzki picks up the RBI. Another good at bat for Tulo.
You know, that's one of the things the Blue Jays did so well last year was hitting with runners at third base in less than 2 outs. They led the league in sacrifice flies. They have 2 in this inning. Tulo stayed back on that breaking ball instead of trying to pull it. He pushes it out the right field deep enough to score another run for the Blue Jays. Good at bat right there from Tulowitzki.
Just missed a grand slam down the left side and shot a ball into right to pick up the base runner from third. Michael Saunders tagged and advanced to third from second, so he's now there. Martin remains at first. That's a foul ball on the check swing. Saunders broke from third, but it was a foul ball. Smoke is 0 for 2.
Sees that's going to be high. Just takes it right out of the catcher's mitt. There's your foul ball.
Smoke hits a high fly ball to left. Rajai Davis is there. The inning is over. The Blue Jays scored 2 more runs here in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the 5th. Jay Happ has a 5-0 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio.
Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are guests of TD who've received an in-stadium seat upgrade. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse, we welcome fans from Toronto Foundation for Student Success and the Boys and Girls Club of Kawartha Lakes. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome indeed to a beautiful afternoon here With the roof wide open, the Jays Care Community Clubhouse always welcomes in great groups of fans to this beautiful ballpark. And today, good start to this ball game. The Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead. Jay Happ has held the Indians to a single hit. It was a double off the bat of Jason Kipnis, the second batter this game.
It's an Indians team that, coming into this game versus left-handed starters, they've been very mean to. 15-8 versus left-handed starters this year, and Jay's been going through them easily.
Carlos Santana, the first baseman. So many more quality pitchers from Happ to start this game, and it was a struggle for him in June. He'd be the first to tell you that. But he did finish up June with a 4-1 record. That ball is headed for the alley in center field and going to get down and slam up against the wall. Carrera plays it back to the infield as Santana starts off the fifth with a leadoff double. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. There has been some speculation that they would listen to offers for Mike Moore, Jake Odorizzi, some of their younger pitchers. They're not too anxious to deal Chris Archer. He's signed to a team-friendly contract.
Yeah, very friendly. He's the ace of that staff. What would it take? It would take young players, probably young everyday players, and a pitcher thrown in.
It's a high pop down the right side. Junior Lake over into foul territory, and he has room. Here's the throw to third. It's going to be cut off and late as Santana moves from second to third on the out. Good job by Lake to get right to the edge of that wall and make the catch.
Yeah, and showing off a pretty decent arm in right field. Thought that ball was going to make it into the stands, but he gets right to the wall and makes the catch. Alertly tag it up and going to third base is Santana.
Yan Gomes bats with a man at third and one out.
He has been money in these situations right here, driving in runs. His batting average is under 180. But he is fourth in the American League amongst catchers with those 30 RBIs. He's just trying to keep the ball in the middle of the diamond right here to pick up an RBI. Runner at third base in the infield back.
Gomes is batting 100 points higher with runners in scoring position than he is with his overall average, hitting 280 with runners in scoring position. I asked him about his batting average. He's always been a good offensive player. He said, you know, I just tried too hard. Once I got in a hole, I was trying to make up with 3 and 4 hits every at bat. That just doesn't work.
Yeah, forget about that. You got to set your sights and say, okay, I'm going to give myself a month. I mean, every day I'm going to concentrate and I'm going to have good at bats every single day. And then at the end of a month, then you can look up at that scoreboard and see where you are. Can't do it in 1 or 2 games.
Good pitch. Jay Happ finds that outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Blue Jays have kept the Indians off the scoreboard to this point. We're in the top of the 5th. Jay Happ came into this game with a 10-3 record. This is his 17th start of the season. Last year, between Seattle and Pittsburgh, he finished the season 11-8. 31 starts, 32 games overall. High fastball does the trick once again. That's 8 strikeouts for Jay Happ. That ties his season high.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SUHD TV.
Beautiful Sunday afternoon, made even nicer by the fact the Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead. Abraham Almonte goes after the first pitch and fouls it straight back. Almonte called out on strikes in the third.
You know, and the Blue Jays signed Jay Happ very quickly in the off season. Right at the beginning of the signing season, they brought him in. Everybody was saying, why are you bringing him back? Well, he's out pitching the guy who left here, who also happens to be left-handed.
David Price. Almonte went around. Nope, not according to Bill Wilkie, the first base umpire. He was asked on the appeal. David Price, of course, signed a big contract with the Boston Red Sox, over $217 million.
17, yeah. Got 8 wins, and Jay's got 10.
Look out, Carlos. You got to be on your toes running the bases down at third. Less than 90 feet away.
Especially with a right-handed batter at the plate. Got a cutter on the inside part of the plate. Really, you don't need to take a big lead now with 2 strikes. Almonte's in swing mode. You just got to get something close here.
With Jay Happ having 10 wins, there are only 4 pitchers in baseball that have more than 10 wins. Chris Sale has 14. He picked that up last night. Jake Arrieta with 12, Johnny Cueto with 12, and Clayton Kershaw with 11. Back over the screen.
Pretty good company.
Very good company.
There's pitchers in the game.
And the fact is, we're not at the All-Star break yet. Jay Happ will have another start. He's got a chance to reach his career high 12 wins before the All-Star break. Boy, he almost got him to chase, but he held off.
He wanted to swing.
3-2 count to Abraham Almonte. Pulled to third. Donaldson takes his time, fires a strike, inning over. Carlos Santana gets the leadoff double, but the Indians leave him at third. Jay Happ, a shutout through 5 innings.
Your luxury suite for a business meeting and a baseball game. Our account executives will find the package that best suits your needs. Call 416-341-1635 or visit BlueJays.com/luxury suites.
Hey, so thank you very much. That's great advice. Come on down and be part of this great atmosphere at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays are averaging 38,525. That's the highest average in the American League. It's their 40th game of the season at home. The Yankees are averaging 38,114. The Blue Jays are first in average attendance in the American League.
And they are on pace for 3 million. That hasn't happened since 1993. It's a great atmosphere.
Junior Lake got the start in right field. If you're just joining us, Kevin Pillar is given the day off.
What a job Jay Happ did last inning after the leadoff double. Kept the Indians off the scoreboard.
There's a strike. It's now 2-1 to Junior Lake, leading off the bottom of the 5th. Jabba Chamberlain, as Pat mentioned, made his debut with the Yankees in 2007. That was the year he was drafted out of Nebraska. He was taken 41st overall in the June draft in 2006, signed the next year and came up to the big leagues in 2007. Made 19 appearances for the Yankees and had a 0.38 earned run average. Line drive to the second baseman, Kipnis. One down.
And every indication looked like he was going to be the man for the Yankees, either as a setup man or the heir apparent to Mariano Rivera in that bullpen.
Then the next year, in 2008, the Yankees decided they would start Jabba Chamberlain. He made 12 starts, 42 appearances, 30 out of the bullpen. Finished up with a 4-3 record, 260 earned run average through 100 innings. They came up with the Jabba rules. Darwin Barney hits a ground ball to second and safe. Boy, Kipnis just threw wide of first base. Santana went off the bag to get it, tried to get back to first before Barney did, but to his credit, Darwin Barney hustled down the line and beat Santana to the bag.
Santana just couldn't shuffle his feet quick enough to get over there, catch the ball, and then get back. Kipnis throws the ball way offline. I watch him shuffle his feet, try to get over there, but he was safe. That's going to be another error for Kipnis. That'll be his 5th on the season, and a play that looked like it was going to be an easy out. Got a runner at first base and just one out now.
Those are the plays that drive managers wild. Routine out. Kipnis just looked like he took it nonchalant and threw wide of first. So now that turns the lineup over to Carrera, and there goes Barney. Gomes' throw right on the money, and Carrera takes a strike as Barney is caught stealing. Actually, it was a ball to Carrera. Gomes with a strong throw. He's thrown out 32% of the base stealers this year.
And the second time that Darwin has been thrown out, that was a good pitch to run on. It was almost a semi pitch out for Yan Gomes. And the tag applied. He has now thrown out 10 base runners this year in 29 attempts.
Ball on a strike now to Carrera. Carrera scored the 4th Blue Jay run back in the 4th inning. He scored on a sacrifice fly. It was an interesting sacrifice fly in that it was caught by the shortstop in shallow left field.
A heads-up play by Carrera. Saw that Lindor slipped a little bit as he was getting ready to throw, so he scored really without a play at the plate. Heads up. He also went first to third on that single by Josh Donaldson. That's how he ended up there.
Joba Chamberlain was actually a member of the Blue Jays organization for about 3 weeks last year. He was signed, played for 3 weeks, and they let him go.
He was in AAA with them, wasn't he? Now in the minor leagues.
AAA Buffalo for a total of 7 games. Joba pitched just 5 innings. Then he went to Detroit and ended up with time in Kansas City as well. Chamberlain spent time with the Yankees to begin his career, and I asked him about going back and forth between the bullpen and the starting rotation. It's a 3-2 pitch, pulled foul. He said, whenever you look at my numbers, when I pitched every day on a regular 5-man rotation, my numbers were good. But when I went back and forth, I never knew how to work out. I didn't know when I should lift weights. I didn't know what I should do in my side sessions, and it really created a lot of problems for me. He was very adamant about saying, you know what, he said, I agreed to do it, and I thought it would be good for my career, but in retrospect, it was a real challenge.
It's hard because you train differently as a starter and as a reliever.
That's exactly the words he used. You
really
train differently. So when you're relieving, you have to conserve your energy. You can't put as much into your daily work because you might pitch that day. When you're a starter, you pitch, you rest, you work out on the 3rd day, rest on the 4th day, pitch on the 5th day. And it becomes a very definitive routine.
And if you're trying to protect somebody's arm by moving him into the bullpen,
you can. Carrera walks for a 2nd time as he walked in the 4th. Now he walks here in the 5th. Corey Kluber was the starter in this ball game. He goes 95 pitches. It was only just 3 1/3. Gives up 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and he walked 4 and struck out 4. He just was off his game from the start.
Seeing high 4 walks in the ball game and just 4 strikeouts. He came into this game as one of the best strikeout pitchers in the American League. 110 strikeouts for Kluber. That was good for 5th best in the American League. Only 4 this afternoon against the Blue Jays. He was just, you're right, just off a tick.
Russell Martin touched him up for a 3-run home run in the 1st inning. Josh Donaldson had a perfect day, 2 singles and an intentional walk. Donaldson has scored a pair of runs. Donaldson has now scored 71 runs for the season. That moves him in front of Mookie Betts for the lead in the American League. He's been on a good stretch over the last 2 weeks, hitting over 400. Inside. Donaldson has moved into the top 10 in RBIs. He has 55 RBIs. Edwin Encarnacion picked up an RBI with a sac fly in the 4th. He leads baseball with 74 runs driven in.
How many times has he driven in Josh Donaldson? Wow.
Tom Gorzelani, the lone left-hander in the Indians bullpen. That's ball 4 all the way back to the screen. Donaldson will walk.
The all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Mickey Callaway out to talk with Joba Chamberlain, pitching coach. Trying to help Java get sorted out here. There are 2 outs. Tough spot for the Indians and Chamberlain. Edwin Encarnacion at the plate. Edwin is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. We mentioned Donaldson, with 2 runs scored today, has taken the lead in runs scored in the American League. He also leads with 56 walks.
It's amazing putting together another MVP type of season, but people aren't talking about it just yet. Talking about this guy though, 74 ribbies and another chance to drive in some more. A couple more runners on base for him.
.74 RBIs in 83 games for Edwin Encarnacion. What a season he's having. Fly ball to center. Almonte is there, and he'll make the catch. The inning is over. The Blue Jays leave a pair. They've had base runners on all afternoon. They've had a 5-run output. They lead at 5-0 as we head to the 6th.
This weekend, join our colleagues Martine Guyard and Brendan Dunlop. They've got you covered on Sportsnet Central weekends at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Lots going on in the sports world, obviously, and they'll have you all up to speed on everything that's happened over this weekend. Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead, trying to split the 4-game series with the Indians. Lonnie Chisenhall, the number 9 hitter, takes the first pitch strike from Jay Happ. Jay Happ has tied his season high with 8 strikeouts this afternoon. His career high in strikeouts is 12. That happened against the Orioles in August of 2014.
He's thrown a lot of quality pitches, a lot of them. Sinking the ball, he's cutting the ball. He's thinking right along. He's reading bats also. And he sees when guys are trying to swing at that high pitch, he'll go back down underneath it.
Boy, what a perfect pitch for another strikeout. That's 9 strikeouts and a new season high for Jay Happ. That breaking ball in a perfect spot to Chisenhall.
Second time getting Lonnie Chisenhall. Not much you can do with a pitch like this. Down and away, sweeps it right out of the strike zone.
Back to the top of the order. Rajay Davis hooks this one, a wicked line drive into the seats. Davis hit for the cycle yesterday. It was the first time anyone had hit for the cycle here at Skydome since George Brett hit it. when it was Sky Dome, July 25th, 1990. The opponents that have hit for the cycle here in Toronto against the Blue Jays, just George Brett and Rajai Davis.
In the last Indian to get the cycle, Travis Hafner. He was the last guy to get that. That was back in 2003, I believe. And he was asked today what he thought about Rajai Davis finally getting a cycle. And he said, you know what? I don't have to answer the questions anymore about how I got a triple. It happened in Minnesota. With the ball against the wall in right center field and legged it out for a triple. That was his last cycle.
Yeah, the triple evidently hit the baggie at Metrodome and fell to the ground, and they were playing him opposite field, so he got a triple. They say that the most unusual hit was the double, a little squibber off the end of the bat that just trickled up the middle.
Up the middle, and the outfielders were playing so deep, he hustled it in for a double.
Davis pops it up into shallow right field. Junior Lake calls for it. Barney pulls out of the way. 2 down.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
The Indians have just 2 hits. They have both been doubles. Jason Kipnis, who's at the plate, had a first inning double with 1 out. The other double, a leadoff double by Santana in the 5th. That's been it. All the Indians can muster. This is popped up and playable. Tulowitzki, the shortstop, calls for it, and Saunders runs into him, and Tulowitzki is upset as he got hit by Pilar in New York and went on the disabled list. Tulowitzki had his arm in the air calling for it, and Saunders never gave way. They collided, but it appears as though everybody's okay. Tulowitzki hollering and Saunders hollering as well, and the left fielder and shortstop collide. Tulowitzki catches it to end the inning.
Staycation again with the #1 rated travel rewards card in Canada, the WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard. Visit rbc.com/WestJet to apply today. Buck.
Full house at the WestJet flight deck this afternoon, and it is a great day to come out and enjoy a ball game on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead. Third pitcher to work for the Indians will be the left-hander Tom Gorzelani.
We saw Gorzelani already once in this series. He was just promoted from their AAA team Columbus at the beginning of June. All 6 of his outings so far this season have been scoreless, so he doesn't have an ERA. He's a left-handed specialist, sinker slider. Been pitching a long time.
Michael Saunders with a pair of doubles this afternoon. High fly ball down the right side. That's going to be just into the seats. That ball looked like it came back toward foul territory. Troy Tulowitzki's had quite a day on Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. He's 2 for 2 with a sacrifice fly.
Going back to the book right there. Let's look at that scouting report for Gorzelani. Gorzelani pitched in the National League, so Tulo should know all about him.
Gorzelani began as a starter with the Pirates. One and 2 to Michael Saunders. He's leading off the bottom of the 6th. Java Chamberlain pitched an inning and 2/3. He walked 3 batters. Didn't give up a hit. Yeah, I would say that Tulowitzki knows Gorzelani. He is 5 for 12 with a home run. So he was probably filling in Brooke Jacoby.
Yeah, he was telling him what to look for. He knows all about him.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Saunders, leading off the bottom of the 6th, and the crowd's getting into it with the wave. It's been a fun weekend, some close ball games. Cleveland won 4-1 in the opener, and they took the second game 2-1 in 19 innings. Carlos Carrasco, the pitcher on Thursday night for Cleveland, had a terrific start. 14 strikeouts in that game.
Yeah, I don't care who was hitting that day. You weren't going to hit him. He was on his game. Then that long game could have gone either way. We just had a great chance of winning that one a couple of different times. Leaving runners on base, they would eventually lose that one in 19 innings. Then the big bats came out yesterday.
There's the walk to Saunders. That'll bring Russell Martin to the plate. Drive of the game is brought to you by the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
And it didn't take long for the big bats to come out today. Russell Martin in the first inning against Corey Kluber. Breaking ball, and he takes this one way deep to center field. One swing of the bat, the Blue Jays have 3 runs on the board. Russell Martin circles the bases with this afternoon's drive of the game.
Russell has 32 RBIs after that 3-run homer. Martin, too, has 5 hits against Gorzelani. He's 5 for 14 for his career.
He had a chance to drive in some runs his last time up, but the Indians took the bat right out of his hand and walking him.
Java Chamberlain came in to face Russell Martin, fell behind, and then they gave him the intentional pass and loaded the bases. And then Tulowitzki had a sacrifice fly to right field. Down the line and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Blue Jays catcher. Terry Francona having an extended conversation. Cleveland's been on a long road trip, and they've had a successful road trip. Yesterday was their first loss in 9 games.
They're going to have another extended long road trip when the Republican National Convention comes to Cleveland. later this summer. Looks like it's right after the All-Star break.
They will go to Minnesota, Kansas City, and Baltimore, and have an off day on that long road trip. 9 games, 10 days on the road. On this road trip, they have been to Detroit, Atlanta, and Toronto. They'll return home and play Detroit and the Yankees to wrap out their first half of the season. Yankees for a 4-game series at the just before the All-Star break. 3-2 to Russell Martin. He takes ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Gorzalani. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Steven Strasburg in his return to the rotation, throwing a no-hitter through 5 innings. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and no hits allowed to the Cincinnati Reds. Everybody in Washington taking a big, deep breath after Strasburg's injury.
Boy, if they keep him healthy, and if Giolito stays up there and does his thing, and the rest of the starters, they should be okay the rest of the summer.
Here is Troy Tulowitzki on the Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. 2 for 2 with a sacrifice fly.
He swung at that like he knew what was coming. You mentioned the numbers that he has had against Gorzalani. He's got a chance now to do some damage. A couple of runners on. Looked like a changeup from Gorzalani. .91 miles an hour in there for a strike. Oh, and 2. Way outside. Tulowitzki looking for his 4th 3-hit game of the season. He's been swinging the bat much better since his return off the disabled list. Stay aggressive. We've seen him hit a ball to right field today. We've seen him pull a ball into left field. Stay aggressive. Anything close, let it go.
That's not close. It's 2-2.
Hasn't been really close all afternoon long. Blue Jays have walked 9 times already, and we're only in the 6th inning.
Full count. Nobody out. Troy Tulowitzki, playing in his 13th game since coming off the disabled list, came into this ball game with 5 home runs and 10 RBIs in the previous 12 games.
Chance to do some damage right here.
3-2. Nobody out. Saunders at second. Martin at first. Tulowitzki high and deep and get out of here. Home run Tulowitzki. Have a day, Troy.
Putting guys on, you walk the first 2 batters, you get 2 quick strikes, and then 3 balls, you got to throw him a fastball. And Tulo was waiting for it.
Tulowitzki, his 6th home run in 13 games since coming off the disabled list, and that's great news. Hot shot off the bat of Smoke. Lindor bounces it to first, and Justin's retired.
That's the first out of the inning. Couple of walks, and you don't want to put him on base, so you got to challenge him with the fastball. This is right down Bravo, right into that swing path for Tulowitzki. Home run number 14, and what a day he's having. No doubt about it to left field.
A 4 RBI day, and you know what? You extend a good deed to the fans, and you get payback. He was out earlier. No batting practice. He signed a bunch of autographs. He was accommodating. He went down and saw a lot of fans and kids, and he gets his just due.
He's done this a few times against Gorzelani in his career. Remember this last time, Bob, he had the ball down the line with the bases loaded. Just foul. That time he kept it fair.
Three for 3, his 4th 3-hit game of the season, and his average up to 234. Spent much of the first half under 200. Junior Lake with a 3-0 count. Eight runs on 8 hits for the Blue Jays. 2 3-run home runs and 2 sacrifice flies.
Home run's a big part of what the Blue Jays do. Russell with a 3-run homer. Now Tulowitzki with a 3-run homer.
Junior Lake, full count. For Russell Martin, his home run number 7 on the season. For Tulowitzki, home run number 14.
And the guy saying thank you very much is Jay Happ. There he is. 8 more runs to work with this afternoon.
Another walk. That's the 3rd walk in the inning issued by Gorzelani.
You know what that should do with the Blue Jays scoring those kind of runs? It should give the bullpen a little bit of a blow this afternoon. They've played in a lot of close ball games, and the guys at the back end of that game have been forced to pitch a lot.
And the Blue Jays will play 7 straight before they get some time off during the All-Star break. Kansas City's in for 3. Then the Tigers. Jay Happ, he's not going to apologize for his run support. He'll take every run he can get.
Absolutely. He got just enough runs last time and pitched 5 innings to get the win. So he'll do whatever it takes to get those runs. These are the top run supports in the American League. Salazar, Porcello, Santiago got 21 of them last night for the Angels to help his average.
That'll help your average, won't it? How many runs they score for you? Oh, 21. What, in a month? No, in a game. 1 out. Darwin Barney. He gets a base hit to right. Not wasting any time. He jumps on the first pitch. That's Darwin's first hit. He's been on base 3 times. He walked, reached on an errand. Now he's single.
Not much you can do if you're Tom Gorzelani. The pitching staff is a little thin right now. He's got to finish out this inning.
We mentioned the Indians finishing up a long road trip. They will go home and entertain the Tigers for 3 games. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon. Then the Yankees come to town Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then they will start their All-Star break. Last game of the proverbial first half is on Sunday. Obviously, we have reached the first half numerically. The Blue Jays are playing in their 84th game.
I think this is 81 for the Indians. 80 games yesterday. 81, so they are at the halfway point.
Kevin Pillar can rest easy now with an 8-0 lead. He needed a day off, and I'm sure now they won't entertain any defensive moves with Pilar. Just give him the whole day off. Base hit past Santana into right. Lake's getting the wave. Here's the throw to the plate. Not nearly in time, and Carrera drives in a run. 9-0.
That was his 5th at-bat this afternoon. We're only in the 6th innings. He's been on base 3 times. He's also had a sacrifice bunt. OJ's bringing it out. Run scores. Barney goes first to third. This one off the glove of Santana into right field. Slows that thing down. That allows Lake to score. Barney go to third.
Josh Donaldson, the batter, has been on base 4 times. He's been walked twice, once intentionally, and he has a pair of singles.
Infield playing halfway right there. If it's hit firmly at an infielder, they'll try and turn 2. If it's not hit hard, they won't have to go home.
Chances are with Donaldson, it's going to get hit hard.
It's going to get hit hard the way he is swinging. It's funny, the shortstop is actually closer to the plate than the third baseman. Ramirez, the third baseman, a little bit deeper than Lindor.
Base hit to right. Barney's going to come in to score. Donaldson been on base 5 times. That's RBI 56 for JD.
That's an easy RBI for Donaldson with the infield in like that, with a runner at third base. Just poke it to the right side. And that's going to send Gorzelani out of here. Sinker down and away, stay on it, just shoot it the other way. Big hole on the right side, he takes advantage of it. Blue Jays now have 10.
Tom Gorzelani faced 8 batters. He retired just 1. He will turn the ball over to the manager, Terry Francona, who will hand it off to Tommy Hunter, the big right-hander. Will come in with 2 aboard. Edwin Encarnacion at the plate. The Blue Jays 10-0 over Cleveland.
customers get free VIP Blue Jays experiences like alumni meet and greet, seat upgrades, offers, and more with Game Plus, part of the MLB.com Ballpark app. Learn more at BlueJays.com/Game Plus.
Edwin Encarnacion facing Tommy Hunter takes the first pitch strike. Hunter in relief of Tom Gorzolani, who retired just one batter. He faced 8 Blue Jay hitters.
Third reliever of the afternoon, Gorzolani. And now Hunter here in the 6th inning.
Line drive, fair ball down the left field line. Carrera's around to score. Donaldson will jog into third as that's a ground rule double. Another RBI for Edwin. That gives him 75.
20th double of the season for Encarnacion also. It's the 3rd time that they have seen Hunter in this 4-game series. So no secrets as Edwin winds up and rips this ball down the left field line. 2 hops and into the stands for a ground rule double. It's been a 6-run inning already for the Blue Jays, and they only have 1 out.
$11-0. Michael Saunders batting for a 2nd time this inning, goes after the first pitch and gets a base hit through the left side. Donaldson scores. Saunders picks up an RBI. For Michael, that's his 3rd hit. He's 3 for 4 with a walk. Donaldson scores for the 3rd time this afternoon.
That'll up his lead in the American League. Michael Saunders not wasting any time, just drops the ball into left field. 13 hits and 12 runs now for the Blue Jays. Everything finding a hole right here. 3 bounces and it's into the outfield for a single.
The Indians have made some defensive switches. Jason Kipnis, the starter at 2nd, is out of the game. Chris Jimenez, the catcher, comes into play 3rd. And the 3rd baseman, Ramirez, goes to 2nd. There's Ramirez at 2nd base. Francona wanted to keep Kipnis out of the lineup today. He did not put him in the original lineup, but Uribe had to be scratched because of his hand injury, and you can see it's a challenge for the skipper right now. And we're still in the 6th. Martin gets a base hit up the middle. Encarnacion is in to score. Russell Martin having a big day. His 4th RBI of the afternoon.
And look who's coming up again with runners on base.
Encarnacion scores. It's 13-0, and Troy Tulowitzki homered this inning. A 3-run home run to left.
Well, it just seemed like a couple of minutes ago, this pitch, 3-2. And see you later. 3-run home run for Tulowitzki. Blue Jays have scored 8 runs already, and there's still only 1 out.
Outside. 13 runs on 14 hits. Tulowitzki has driven in 4. Martin has driven in 4. He's got a different swing than we saw him before the injury in New York. More aggressive, more confident.
More fluid, that swing. That comes through there quickly.
There's strike 2. Good breaking ball. Tulowitzki singled in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, had a sac fly in the 4th, and hit a 3-run home run here in the 6th. Tulo's the 12th Blue Jay to bat this inning. Tulowitzki has had 2 7 RBI games in his career. Pops this one up. Santana in foul ground makes the catch. 2 down. Justin Smoke.
Got to get Smokey on the board here.
Smokey's 0 for 4 so far. Ball and a strike to the first baseman.
If you're the manager on the other side like that, think of what they've gone through now in this series. A 19-inning game. They won the first 2 games. They've had to shuffle their lineup. They had to go down to the minor leagues and get a young kid. They sent him back, Armando. Today, if you're Terry Francona, I think you save your bullpen here. And you probably will see a position player at some point pitching this ball game. You have to.
Smoke strikes out, and that's the end of the inning, but the Blue Jays scored 8 runs on 7 hits, including 1 big swing of the bat from Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki, a 3-run home run, gives him a 4 RBI day and catapults the Blue Jays to a 13-0 lead.
Fans, membership kits are now available for the 2016 Junior Jays Club presented by Boston Pizza. This year's membership kit features a Blue Jays ball cap, sunglasses, backpack, and more. Exclusive access to members-only events, such as a movie night and photo day with Blue Jays players. Purchase your membership kit at any Jays Shop location or by visiting jshop.ca.
Thank you, Hazel. Certainly had a lot of time to go to the Jays Shop in that half inning. It was 31 minutes that J Happ was on the Blue Jays bench. 8 runs scored in the bottom of the 6th. That's a season high for the Blue Jays, runs in a single inning. It is 13-0. Troy Tulowitzki having a big day on Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead day. Troy and Russell Martin both have 4 RBI afternoons. They both hit 3-run home runs. Well, you get them going along with Josh and Edwin. All of a sudden, it looks like the old Blue Jays.
Yeah, get those veterans starting to hit.
Ground ball. Tulowitzki quickly in time to retire Lindor. 1 out. Let's check in again with Jamie Campbell. Sean O'Sullivan has been called up to make the start. He's allowed just 2 hits over 5 innings against his former team, the Angels. Mike Napoli goes after the first pitch.
You know, when you get scored on like that, like the Red Sox did last night, flush it, put it out of your system as quickly as possible. That's the beauty about baseball, isn't it?
Well, it's the beauty of this division. I think that's the one thing that everybody should keep in mind. This division is going to be up for grabs right down to the wire. I don't think anybody is a rock solid team without flaws, and Napoli waves at that high pitch. He strikes out for a second time. That's 10 strikeouts for Happ. Now for a preview of what's coming up on our schedule. Here's the West Jet schedule. Let's have a look at this schedule ahead. The Blue Jays will wrap up this series with the Indians, and then Kansas City, the reigning world champs, will come in for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday games, and then the old rival Detroit Tigers will be here for a 4-game series, and that'll wrap up the first half of the season and lead the Blue Jays into the All-Star break.
Then they have a quick trip right out to the West Coast. 5 games, 3 in Oakland, 2 in Arizona. And then they're back home for a 3-team homestand again to finish off the month of July. So Blue Jays, playing all these home games, have a chance to do some damage.
Yeah, a 5-game road trip to Oakland and Arizona, and there are off days on either side of the 2 games in Arizona. That's a good way to travel to the West Coast. Go to Oakland, then fly to Phoenix, have an off day on Monday, play 2 games and 1 an afternoon game, and then have an off day when you come back. That's pretty good.
Should keep you rested and help your pitching staff. I'm sure the Jays will be over the All-Star break mixing up their pitching staff and getting it set for the second half.
Ground ball. Tulowitzki dives. It's beyond his reach. Carlos Santana has his second hit of the afternoon. Santana has had 7 hits in the 4-game series. He is 7 for 18 in the series,
including a game winner in that 19th inning. Hit a home run. Had another good day today. Doubled last time up, and then singles just out of the reach of Tulowitzki. It's just the 3rd hit this afternoon for the Indians.
Kipnis had a hit in the first inning. Santana has the other 2. Jose Ramirez is 0 for 2 this afternoon. He had 6 hits in the first 3 games of this series. Jay Happ, it's been a good afternoon for him. Discounting the 13 runs of support, he's made quality pitches from the first inning and on.
Yeah, shutting down a pretty hot team offensively in the Indians. I was looking at an article Fangraphs had about the Indians and what they have done so far this year. They're #1 in pitching, #1 in base running, #3 in defense, and they're 6th in run score. So it's a team that can manufacture some runs, but Jay's done a good job.
There's a line drive into center off the bat of Ramirez. Santana goes first to third. A 2-out base hit for Ramirez.
This guy's unbelievable when runners are on base. We've been talking all series about him hitting with runners in scoring position, but with runners on base, he's up to .354 with runners on. Gives up the single to Santana, and Ramirez follows that up with another hit.
Two outs, runners at the corners. 13-0 Blue Jays. Yan Gomes Gomes is 0 for 7 in the series, 0 for 2 this afternoon. He's one of 10 strikeouts that Happ has recorded. Happ has thrown 95 pitches, and with that, Drew Storen is starting to loosen up the Blue Jays bullpen.
They've been pretty consistent all season long, and right around that 100 pitch plateau, they shut down that starter. Jays had some pretty good games this year. He had the one game in San Francisco where he went 8 2/3 innings. He was that close to throwing a shutout. Just couldn't finish it off. He won that ball game. He also threw 7 innings against his former team Philadelphia and did not give up an earned run.
They've done a good job of keeping Jay Happ under 100 pitches. He's only gone over 100 pitches 4 times, and this is his 17th start of the season. And the industry, baseball wide, has really kind of put a cap on starters around 100 pitches.
The thinking is 100 pitches, they start getting tired, and when you're tired, that's where injuries happen.
Yan Gomes rips it into left field. Santana comes in to score. Ramirez goes first to third. Gomes with an RBI single. All this happening with 2 outs and nobody on. Yeah. Remember, Jay Happ sat for 31 minutes in that long 8-run bottom of the 6th.
And now it's going to give up the hit to Gomes. Told you he was 4th in the American League amongst catchers in RBIs with 30. That makes it 31 for the former Blue Jay.
So a brief meeting. Walker back to the dugout. Drew Storen afforded a couple of extra pitches during that meeting on the mound, and now it'll be the number 8 hitter, Abraham Almonte. This might be the last batter no matter what happens. Get out of the inning, Jay Happ will be done. He gets a base hit. We might see Storen.
We might see him. Although there's a left-hander on deck, they'd love for him to get out of the inning right here. Let him walk off the mound after 7 innings. I never want to see a guy in a game like this have to be taken out for a reliever. You want to see him walk off the mound with his team.
Oh, 0-2.
That's been a good pitch for him. That little cutter. He's had great depth on it today. Been able to use it to get underneath the bats. Looking for his 11th strikeout.
There it is. Strikeout number 11. That'll probably end the day for Jay Happ. 11 strikeouts, one off his career high. He had 12 against the Orioles in 2014. This final pitch of the afternoon punctuates a strong outing for Jay Happ.
Texas Rangers will spend the 4th of July at historic Fenway Park for a date with Big Papi and the Boston Red Sox. That's tomorrow on Sportsnet, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Well, an interesting development here for the Indians. That's Chris Jimenez, who was into the game as the third baseman. Now he moves to the mound. This will be his second major league pitching appearance. He also pitched for the Texas Rangers in 2014. Tyler Naquin comes on to play defense in right field, and the right fielder Lonnie Chisenhall moves back to third base. He is a former third baseman, so he's quite comfortable over there.
He doesn't want to play it on a day like today when you've got a position player on the mound. How about the day Jay Happ has had? Punctuating his day with another strikeout.
Junior Lake got the start in right field. He is 0 for 2. He scored a run. Chris Jimenez pitched July 10th, 2014 against the Angels while playing for the Texas Rangers. He had a strikeout in that inning of work, and obviously we had two position players pitch here on Friday, Brian Goins and Darwin Barney. Rajay Davis makes a nice catch. One down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. 45,962 on hand here at Rogers Center. Darwin Barney pops up the first pitch. Almonte is there. 2 up, 2 down for Jimenez.
What a weekend for the Blue Jay fans and the Blue Jays, and for Jay Happ this afternoon.
Jay Happ will win his 11th game of the season. His career high came in his first full season. He had 12 wins with the Phillies. 2 of those wins came out of the bullpen as a reliever. So this will be the most wins as a starter to tie what he did last year. He won 11 games last year while pitching for the Mariners and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And he'll have one more start before
the All-Star
break. So is he an All-Star if he wins that?
Yes.
12 wins at the break.
He's an All-Star. He is second to Chris Sale with wins. Sale has 14 wins. He picked that up last night.
And I know no one's talking about that now, and I'm sure Jay doesn't want to talk about it. Well, we can talk about it.
Of course we can. And you know what? The fans want to talk about it. There's another fly ball, a little pop-up. Chisenhall at third. This Jimenez retires the side in order. It's the first time today the Blue Jays have gone in order, and it took a catcher to do it.
Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @That Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Quite a lot to talk about if you're catching up with your friends and family. And Drew Storen will come on to start the 8th inning.
Who last pitched on Canada Day in this series against the Indians. 1 1/3, 2 hits in that game against the Indians.
Nine-one chip for Cleveland. Ronnie Chisenhall has struck out twice today. High fly ball into center field. Lake is there, makes the catch. One down. Jay Happ in line for his 11th win of the season against 3 losses was terrific. Early on, you could sense that it was a different Jay Happ.
Well, he was able to move the ball all around the strike zone. He had good fastball command this afternoon. He could go outside. He could go inside. From up here, you could see the depth that he had on that cut fastball. A lot of times getting underneath the right-handed batter's swings. He turned the ball over when he needed to, and if he had to go up in the strike zone, he could use that for a strikeout. All told, 11 punch-outs in 7 innings this afternoon for Jay Happ.
A season high for Happ in strikeouts, and just one off his career high. 2 hopper to short. Rajay Davis retired. 2 outs. Just checking again with Jamie Campbell. Steven Strasburg threw 109 pitches in 6 2/3. He walked 4, and they weren't going to take any chances with him. It's 9-0, and he's out of the game. That's good news for baseball. You want star players to be healthy and performing, so it's good to have him back in action.
So baseball lost one today. Zach Greinke had to go on the disabled list.
Dana Ventura left his game with a sprained ankle as well.
Trying to break up a double play. Huh? Pitchers.
Didn't he know you can't break up a double play anymore?
I guess not. I guess not. You're not used to running on the bases.
This is the pitcher, Chris Jimenez. 1-2. Jimenez retired the side in order in the 8th. First time the Blue Jays have been retired in order. 1-2. Called strike 3. Storen with a good inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 13-1. It's all Blue Jays this afternoon. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio. inning of this season, the 6th inning, when the Blue Jays scored 8 runs on 7 hits. And the Blue Jays have really put together a great offensive performance. 2 3-run home runs. First off, the starter, Corey Kluber, by Russell Martin in the 1st inning, and then Troy Tulowitzki at the 3-run homer off Tom Gorzalani in the 6th.
They've had 14 hits. They've also gotten 10 walks.
Donaldson rips it off the top of the fence, stays in the ballpark. And Josh Donaldson jumps on the first pitch he sees from Chris Jimenez, and Josh Donaldson has come to the plate 5 times. He's been on base 5 times. 6 times, excuse me.
He lost count. He has walked 3 times. He's had 2 singles, and now this first pitch from Jimenez, who retired the Blue Jays in order last inning, just off the top. I mean, that's inches from going over the fence.
Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin has driven in 2 more runs this afternoon. He's scored a run. Edwin now has 75 ribbies. That leads baseball.
15 hits now, 10 walks. Blue Jays have left 12 runners on base this afternoon.
Look out. Donaldson actually has 4 hits, 2 walks. What a day. He scored 3 runs. He has taken over the lead in runs scored in the American League.
That's right. Intentional walk, counted one of those walks as or singles as a walk.
Don Gomes had that go just off the tip of his glove as he was leaning into the Indians dugout.
Did you ever like facing a position player when you played?
I don't know that I ever played in those kind of games.
Well,
did you face one?
Yes, and I hated it. I'll tell you why. Because if I didn't get a hit,
they're embarrassed.
Embarrassed and mad. I'm like, you should be getting a hit off of a position player, right? There was a lot more pressure facing these kind of guys because you had to get a hit.
And there's a hit for Encarnacion. He's going to drive in another run. Donaldson comes around. He's going to score. Encarnacion has to slide in ahead of the throw. A 3-ribby day for Edwin. Donaldson scores for the 4th time.
Well, when you're on base 6 times, you're going to score some runs. In a game like this, he gets knocked in again by that man.
Encarnacion with 3 RBIs. Russell Martin with 4. Tulowitzki with 4. Michael Saunders has had a 3-hit game, and he has an RBI. We have had a little bit of everything in this series, including the 19-inning 2-1 game. We've had a blowout game where the Blue Jays had to use pitchers in that 19-inning game because they ran out of pitchers. They used 2 position players, and now the Blue Jays have forced the Indians into using a position player.
And we saw a great pitching performance by Carlos Carrasco. 14 punch-outs against the Blue Jays. Jay Happ returns the trick this afternoon.
Yeah, it's been a very entertaining 4-game series, and it looks like they're going to split the 4 games.
The game yesterday was an entertaining game for both teams. It was close. So the Blue Jays scored 3 runs in the 8th inning yesterday.
Michael Saunders hits it high into center. Encarnacion is tagging. He'll move up. 1 down. First out of the inning.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. The checkered flag event is back, celebrating over 50 years of racing heritage in every Honda.
What an afternoon, and what a way to wrap up the Canada Day weekend here. Blue Jays pouring it on the Cleveland Indians. Russell Martin, 3-run home run in the first, grounded out in the third, walked intentionally in the fourth, walked in the sixth, and had an RBI single in his second at bat in the sixth.
He's had 4 RBIs. He's had a 6 RBI game in his career. He did that 5 years ago against Oakland.
4 RBIs, a season high. And you're right, there is a lot of pressure here. You don't want to make it out. You certainly have a chance to drive in a run, and you're hitting against a fellow catcher.
Yeah, and you know your teammates will get all over you if you don't get a hit. You know what you have to do? You have to treat this like batting practice, like you're working on something.
Russell pokes it into right. That's going to get down for a base hit, and Carnacion will jog in. 5 RBIs for Russell Martin, and that'll bring Tulowitzki to the plate. Russell with a 3-hit day. Encarnacion scores. He's had a 3 RBI day. Troy Tulowitzki, he's had 3 hits and 4 ribbies. Ryan Goins pitched in the Friday game and then went on to the Sabre list. So in this series, we've seen 3 position players pitch.
Darwin Barney and now Chris Jimenez. And
popped up over the screen.
I don't know about you, but I have gained a newfound respect for starting pitching.
Oh,
after, you know, watching what we've seen here and then watching him on the mound and Ryan, it's tough.
I think being a successful starting pitcher in the major leagues is the most challenging position in baseball. Physically, you've got to be strong and have a strong will, a wide assortment of pitches
to do it. Time after time after time.
Tulowitzki pops it up. Ramirez makes the catch.
I guess that's why they get paid the gigantic money. The starters, the good ones, the ones who do it year in and year out.
And no question about it, they're so important to your team's success. So the Indians weren't really sure if that was 2 outs or 3 outs. It's been that kind of day. But now there are 2 outs. It's 15-1. Russell Martin's at first. Justin Smoke is 0 for 5. A couple of strikeouts.
Stay back.
Yeah, you're right. You have to hit it like you're hitting against a coach.
Yeah. Pretend like it's batting practice. Now, batting practice, they're about halfway up. They're not thrown from 60 feet 6 inches. So you really have to wait.
Well, Smokey, he got one in the books. That's his first hit of the afternoon. It's a 2-run home run. Chris Jimenez retired to side in order in the 8th. A much different story for him. Or excuse me, in the 7th, and this is the 8th, and he has been hit hard. Home run number 9 for Smoke. 3rd home run by the Blue Jays this afternoon.
Not too many handshakes for Smokey for going deep.
Because they say it doesn't count. Junior Lake hits the grounder up the middle. Second baseman Ramirez makes the play, and that ends the 8th inning. But the Blue Jays score 4 more runs in the bottom of the 8th. It is 17-1 as we head to the 9th.
cable TV. Visit sportsnet.ca/now to start your free trial today.
We have reached the 9th inning. New pitcher for the Blue Jays will be the lefty Aaron Loup. Drew Storen pitched an inning. Now Loup will try to close things out.
Just called up to the Blue Jays the other day. There's Josh Thole. He will take over for Russell Martin behind the plate here in the 9th inning. Aaron Loup just got called up after the Blue Jays needed some reinforcements. Just got here yesterday. Aaron will pitch in this game. He also pitched in yesterday's game, a third of an inning.
Francisco Lindor, 3 for 17 in the series. Take strike 2. Certainly a game like this gives the Blue Jays a lot of momentum carrying into their series against Kansas City. That starts tomorrow night. On the flip side of it, it's interesting how the Indians came in here. They set a franchise record with 14 straight wins. The Blue Jays snapped that win streak yesterday, and now they've poured it on here today. Luke gets the strikeout. 1 down. Let's check in again with Jamie Campbell. Tyler Naquin will bat for the first time. Naquin took over defensively. He's hitting in the Mike Napoli's spot, the DH. Justin Smoke, he got a hit today, that 2-run home run. Bottom of the 8th.
You know, you were just talking about the Indians getting beat like this and going home. Would you rather be beaten like this or 2-1?
I don't know. This is a hard one to get over because you had Corey Kluber going to the mound to start it. And now they go back and they will play the Tigers, their division rivals, for 3 games.
I think it's easier to slough these off because you never in the ball game. You never had a chance. That ball's up and in. And it's easier just to forget about this one and set your sights on tomorrow's ball game. You know, if it's 2-1 and you've got guys on base here and there, you start thinking, man, we could have won it if we had done this or that. This one, you just like say, okay, forget it.
Luke misses up and in again to Naquin. 2-2, 1 out. The Tigers are leading Tampa Bay 5-1 down in St. Petersburg, and that would give them 6 wins in a row. So Detroit will go into Cleveland hot. But the Tigers haven't beaten the Indians in 9 games. Cleveland is 9-0 against Detroit this season. They will play the Yankees for the first time after the 3 games against the Tigers. Yankees in for a 4-game series to end the first half.
Yeah, that should take them to the All-Star break. Harry Francona's done a great job with this team. Everybody comes ready to play. They've had their problems this year. There's been some PED suspensions. They've had some injuries. They got the last couple of days. They've gotten some pretty good news on Michael Brantley. They think that he might be back after the All-Star break.
Naquin hits a fly ball to right. Junior Lake comes in. The Indians are down to their final out. Carlos Santana's had a good series against the Blue Jays. 7 hits in the 4 games. He has doubled and singled in 3 trips to the plate this afternoon. Josh Thole finishing up things behind the plate for the Blue Jays. Jays will play 7 straight games to wrap up the first half. Kansas City for 3. The Tigers for 4. And then it's the All-Star break.
All-Star break, then out to Oakland. What a way to finish off today for Russell Martin. Russell with 5 RBIs and 3 base hits, 3 runs scored.
Russell was on base 5 times. Donaldson was on base 6 times. Tulowitzki had a big day. Tulowitzki was 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs, including a 3-run home run. Great weekend of baseball for the Blue Jay fans here at Rogers Center. And that'll do it. Santana strikes out. The Blue Jays win it in a lot for 17-1. Jay Happ, the winner, his 11th win of the season. Big day for the offense.
Yes, they came out swinging in the first inning. They got the 3-run home run by Russell Martin to get them off and running. A season-high 8 runs in the 6th inning. It became a laugher. But Jay Happ did his thing with a season-high 11 strikeouts, and the Blue Jays are able to split the series against the Indians.
Well, the Blue Jays split the 4-game series with Cleveland. The Jays now 45-39 will start a series against Kansas City tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. Here's Jamie and Greg.